Hi, I'm back. Sorry for I had to cut off the other video because you only have so much time. It's 10-minute upload limit on YouTube, and I needed to upload these on YouTube. So anyway, I want to continue on with the conversation about APA format. We covered some issues with references, like the format of your in-text citations and your reference list. But I want to talk about Turnitin, which you may or may not be utilizing in this class, but if you are, and there's a score, you utilize Turnitin to check for plagiarism, and your score is higher than 20, you need to seriously consider revising that and getting that around 20 or under 20%. Because if you don't, I'm going to look at it, and if I see, passages that are similar, then I'm going to ask you to resubmit it, and I'm going to penalize you for that, because you should know not to plagiarize before you turn it in. So plagiarizing is using any information word for word from a source. You do not do that. It does not matter if you cite that source. If you're using any information word for word, you're still plagiarizing. You still have to paraphrase any information you get from a source. So if you find a source you like, you're going to have to rearrange the information on that source that you want to use in your own words and still cite the source. You never ever use any information word for word unless you're using your quoting material. And you only quote very sparingly. Only to highlight a certain point you're trying to make. There are times when you might quote a passage, but you don't just quote and call that a paper. Like take various quotes and then put it in your paper and call it a paper, because that's not how you write a paper. So basically, to summarize that, you never take information word for word from a source unless you might be taking a quote here and there. And you quote sparingly. You don't use too many quotes. I'll look at a paper, and if it's like more than 10% of it is quoted, I'm going to send it back to you and be like, you need to write a paper. You don't need to just quote other people. So just make sure that you do not use information word for word. And I'm just kind of trying to really emphasize that is plagiarizing. Even if you took information from a source and you still cited it, you're still plagiarizing. So if you're getting feedback about that, make sure not to do that. And if you're not yet, don't do that in the future. So I just wanted to cover that because that's very important. Also, make sure that when you're paraphrasing, I know sometimes it's hard when you find a source and you find some information and you really want to use it, and it's hard to put it in your own words. It can be difficult. That's the challenge of writing, but that's the challenge that you have to meet. So, but if you're if you're going to a site and you want to use a list of something or a chart, you can use a chart. You just have to cite it where it came from. But if you're using let's say you go to a site and there's a list of information. You can use that, but you're going to have to inset it. You're going to have to put it in, indent it and quote it. So if you have a large passage of information you're trying to quote, I don't care. You can do that, but when you do that, the problem that I see in student work is they'll try to do that, but it's like the paper's not very long, so it looks like most of it is quoted, and I don't like to see that. So if it's a short paper, you don't want to really do that. I did it in a dissertation. It was 200 pages long, so that's different. But you have to really watch that Turnitin score. So if you're using Turnitin, pay attention to your score, review your own score, and see, if it's high, why is it high? And if you're ever taking a course and using, let's say you took this course before, and then you're using similar work from it because you're having to retake the course, you need to let me know that immediately. So I just wanted to say that, because that's another reason you can have a high Turnitin score. So anyway, I just wanted to go over that, what is and what is not technically plagiarizing, which, is confusing, because I know a lot of students learn early that they think that they can just copy and paste information, and as long as they put a source on there, it's fine. But it's not. You still have to rearrange it in your own words. So that's really all of the APA tutorial. I know there's a part 1, this is part 2, and this is because, you know, the upload limits, that only can upload 10-minute videos at a time. So if you have any questions or concerns, just let me know. I'll be happy to help. I would highly recommend using this website. It's really good. It's got everything, every kind of template you can use to follow, and an actual example after each one, which I think is great. And make sure to go to this APA sample paper. I'm going to go back to this. I know I did it earlier, but if you look here, you can download it on your computer if you have Acrobat Reader. But when you're writing your papers, follow this example of how it should be formatted. Look at it closely. Look at the indentions of the paragraphs, the double spacing, you know, the in-text citations. This is how your paper should look. If you can just learn how to format your papers this way, you'll be ahead of the game, because you're going to be writing paper after paper for your classes, and you need to make sure. And this even has, look how it has appendix examples if you're wanting to add charts to your work, table examples, how you would incorporate a table into the paper if you wanted to do that. So this is a really good example. So if you have any questions or concerns, let me know. I'll be happy to help, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks. Bye.